Hello, my name is Matthew and this is Zedcraft Season 3. As you can see, I've been doing a little bit of work in the background on the towers from last episode. This is far from complete. There's only two sides of the red tower done, but I'm just roughing it up a bit, adding some andesite and some stone stairs for extra texture. I also want to put some stone bricks in there, but I'm going to stick with the idea that I had from the windows of the castle and sort of tie them in to being part of the window structure maybe. I'm not completely sure there yet, but I don't want to do too much with stone brick because it is pretty distinctive to texture. So there's a lot of work to be done, but that's not what this episode is about. This episode is about comparative scale. So there's a slight issue, you see. When approaching my base from the sea, which to be fair nobody ever does because anybody who does come and visit tends to come through the nether portal, you get this sculpture which I built quite a long time ago, and you get the tree farm and you get the hollowed out mountain, and that's all very good, and then you get this and it's just up here and it's so tall and too tall. And I'm not going to get rid of the towers because I like the towers, although various bits of work do need to be done on them. The problem really is when you're up here, that is tight. I have to turn just so you can see it. Might need to turn my render distance up a little bit. It's, it's all the way over here. In fact, I think I do need to turn my render distance up because I'm in a different Minecraft instance and it's got a different render distance. Let's try that. So, because this is the multi-MC instance that I've got replay mod installed in because it's a bit crashy. So I don't want it in my main Minecraft. So this kind of looks tiny, and it was tall at the start of the game, but I need to make it taller. But it's a really, really simple build. So what we have here is two sets of double helixes. Well, kind of. They're on squares. There's no curves involved here, so it's really, really super easy to build. And it's just up 45 degrees. Although we do, actually they're not quite squares, are they? I'd forgotten. These inner ones are indented on the corners. Huh. The outer ones are not. I'd forgotten about that. Oh yes, they are. They indent into the indents. Ha! Okay, so it's not quite squares, but it's not quite as hard as building a circle. And I mean, at this block count, it's pretty much as close to a circle as you can get anyway. And they just go up like this, and the outer one goes in the opposite direction to the inner one. So the inner one is made of birch and dark oak planks here, and on the outside we've got spruce planks. And are they spruce? No, they're oak planks and jungle planks. So I'm just going to make this taller. Have to go to the tree farm, grab some logs, and we're going to get another replay mod time lapse because I'm really enjoying playing with those and learning how to do that effectively. And I can't say I'm being super successful yet, but practice makes perfect, and the whole video editing thing is still a work in progress as well. So here's lots of options. Now I'm going to say this because hopefully it will remind my future self that I need to do this. When I edit in a time lapse, it needs to have some dead space at the beginning and some dead space at the end, because at the moment, or in the previous episode, they just started very abruptly and then stopped very abruptly. And that capacity to have a quiet moment at the start is very much within Replay Mod's abilities. So I shouldn't have any issues there. So I'm going to grab some wood and get on with building, and hopefully go to bed as well before the phantoms come and get me. So time-lapse ho, let's go. doesn't that look a lot more impressive? I think it's a little bit odd that the snow just stops, but that will be rectified by the weather, and I'll have to go in and clear those snow layers out, of course, but there'll be some appear at the top inevitably. Maybe I could pop some string on there. But the other thing that's the problem with this tower is that it's never really had a top, so I should probably figure out how to finish it off. It finishes off a little differently because I stopped at a slightly different point in the sequence here. Oh no, look, that's wrong. Ah! Gosh, I wonder how many of those I've accidentally put in. Just have to fix... Ah! This is really hard to land on. Really, really hard to land on. Yeah, just... That's odd, because it seemed to come up evenly. So, is there... There's probably mistakes all over the place. But... where... Did I just imagine that? I'm sure it was... There was a 2... There isn't a mistake. Oh, come on. That was just an illusion, wasn't it? But it really looked like it. I really hope you agree that it really looked like there was a mistake. Because it really looked like there was a mistake to me. I think one more? Yeah. Did I stop one short? That's at 235. I mean, it's about as tall. That's at 235. It's about as tall as we can realistically expect anything to be anyway. So, yeah. I need to figure out what to put on the top. Now, given that we're at 235, there's not a great deal I can build. Nothing too elaborate, but it's got to have something, because it just, doesn't finish. And that torch. And the cat's making crunchy noises in the background. I don't know what she's got her paws on, but it's noisy. I don't think my microphone can hear it though. And there's the question of whether or not to light this all up. I don't know at this point. But I do want to get rid of this snow because obviously it makes the middle part look fatter. Now for some reason, I've never really had a problem with mobs spawning on here. I don't quite know why, because I was really expecting it when I first built this. I thought I was really going to have to light it or half slab it or something. But no, it doesn't seem to be the case. So maybe it's just where I am and where this is, and it doesn't come in the proper active mob spawning radius very often. So I'll just take that as a blessing. But in the meantime, let's get rid of this snow and think about what could go on the top of this tower. Now, what kind of things... This was originally intended to be a lighthouse. If you've seen the earliest episodes of this series, you may have seen that wooden lighthouse I built that I then decided I didn't like. I later decided that an actual realistic lighthouse was not something I really wanted to do. So I built this spirally thing instead, and it's much more me, it has to be said. So, what kind of thing though? It could still be a lighthouse, because it could have a light on the top. And it could have light, in fact, all the way down the middle. I'm thinking, if I go and buy a large quantity of sea lanterns, or maybe glowstone, I'm thinking shroom lights really, but we haven't upgraded to 116 yet because it's not... Oh. Why did I build this on an even count? I can't put a single column all the way up the middle because it doesn't have a middle. And if I do 4x4, oh, that's going to be too much, isn't it? Oh no. Oh, what an idiot. Okay. So, no column of light up the middle. I think that's a given. I'm not really intending on tearing this all down, but I could still build something on the top. And I'm thinking basically just a sphere of... See, what? I think my light just broken. Ah! Oh. I need to do something with all of this area. I was thinking of building a dock. I have no idea how to build a dock, but I was thinking about doing it anyway. Here we go. So, I'm quite proud of this little staircase. Oh, I hear a drowned. Yay. Pop the armor back on. Oh, he's in there. Hello. Anything in that chest? Nothing useful. Okay, so, of course I can't fly. Yeah, definitely going to go and fix everything. Haven't shown any of that on video yet, have I? The Ender farm on this server is a wonderful thing built by Screaming Monk, who has recently become one of our server admins, and oh, it's fantastic. Let's go have a look. Of course, going to have to go the long way because I can't fly. Don't jump off anything, don't jump off anything. So here we go. Built all these quite early on when I put this base up to obviously provide some kind of ghast-proof route, but didn't for some reason connect those two bits. I don't know why. We've got this maze of nether tunnels. It's great. We are planning a proper hub for 116, like I said in the last episode. I can't fly. Gosh, this is just so tedious not having a Elytra. So tedious. Anyway, the end portal's this way. There might be one closer to my base for all I know. I just haven't gone and tried to seek it out. Maybe I should. So, here is the end portal. And this is beautifully decorated. This was done before the first dragon fight for the community. Look at this. Beds for everyone. Storage as well. All the things people would need for a successful dragon fight. Beautifully decorated. This is just spectacular. I absolutely love it. It's building at a level way beyond anything I can do. And we've just got a nice circular platform to help us get to the portals. They've all been opened. I don't think anyone's fought the dragon for a while. Unless some of the... Are the pillars back? Maybe someone has, because the pillars seem to have all come back. Someone had mined out a whole one right the way down to like 0 and left a big hole, and that wasn't very popular. So here we go. Here's the Ender. You can see it extending all the way down here. We've got this nice access here. Wonderful little drop shaft. Boom. And off we go. And it's a nice little jumpy, runny route. Nice and fast. Here we go. And I need to eat. You just get lots of watery noises in here. So we turn it on. And I need to grab... No, I don't need to grab tools. I need that sword because it doesn't have mending on it. And so that makes this whole process go a lot faster. Of course, I'm going to need a new non-mending sword at some point, but it's serving me very well, this one. Unbreaking 3 on a sword does get you a long way. There we go. One fully repaired elytra. Might as well do this pick while I'm not in there, while I'm here. Where's the off switch? Here's the off switch. There we go. All done. You can see why I love this place so much. There's the pickaxe. Okay, just organise some tools a little bit. Do everything in its accustomed place. Pop that sword away. And we're done. And we can just leave that because they'll despawn. So a much quicker trip home now ensues. Whee! Whoosh! Up we go. And this is something I rather enjoy. Ha 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 ha. And yet you still hit something. Okay, so I was thinking about what am I going to put on the top, and I think a big sphere of light. The sun, basically, would be a really good idea. So probably the thing to do is figure out how big it needs to be and how much space we've got, and if we need to trim something off the top of the tower in order to accommodate it. So we can place blocks up to 256, I believe. And at the moment, this is 235. So that gives us 21 more blocks of height. And a 21 diameter sphere, which started here, would... I mean, that's fairly big, I think. If I get some of this... and try... We can't use 21 though because we're on an odd centre. So it has to be 20 or 22 and pop it down. And I like 22 because my house number when I grew up was number 22. So I'm going to go over here and go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And think about distancing 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we've got 18, but they're probably not evenly spaced. Oops. Right, but just think about it properly, Matthew. You want 11 from either side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that way. So 10, 11. Don't need debug on anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I got it even without even really trying. So that might give some idea about how big 22 blocks actually is up there. And that is pretty big. So I think that would be okay. So I better pull up a sphere generator and get on with building that, I think. So there it is, the big sphere. Now I did try and record a time lapse of this, and I've got the replay. It just won't render properly. It gets to about 600 frames or so and just stops. Actually sat there all night doing 2 frames. Seems to be some kind of exponential growth in frame rendering time. So there's no replay, there's no time lapse. Sorry about that, but it's just a big sphere made of sea lanterns. Thank you to the Community Guardian farm for providing me with an entire shulker box full of sea lanterns for absolutely nothing at all except the time it took to craft them and a bit of AFK time. Loads of resources there. It's brilliant. So the problem being now, it looks a bit sort of bare, doesn't it? And something needs to be done. So what I'm thinking is that there needs to be a cradle growing up from the tower to kind of bind the whole thing together and to hold this sphere in. And I have really no idea what I'm doing here, so I am going to completely wing this and see what happens. Okay, that is much, much better. Just feels a little bit more solid. And I have actually come up with a way that I think might work to get some lights down the middle as well. So I'm going to build that, and then I will come back and show it to you. It's going to be a little bit tedious to put together, because it's a long way. And there it is, a column of light up the middle. So what we have is basically a 4x4 of white glass panes with sea lanterns embedded within in a sort of ascending spiral. One every 4 blocks going up and just round each corner in turn, anti-clockwise as it happened. I didn't really think about the direction, but anti-clockwise is the direction of the outer spiral. So for that to be inside the inner spiral does seem appropriate, and what a happy coincidence that was. Had an exciting moment where I really wish I'd been recording, where I was about, there, and a creeper spawned up here somewhere and decided to jump off and explode right on top of my head. But I think I've repaired all the damage. Didn't die, fortunately. I died landing right in front of my base, which is just silly. But nothing lost, nothing problematic. And what I've got is this tower, and it kind of looks almost like a giant wizard's staff, which is kind of exciting. So I was down here doing some things. Chlorine79 has come by to connect my base to the underground canal network, and was having some trouble because turns out the place I wanted the connection to be, which is over there, required going straight through the middle of the slime farm, which is under here, and I hadn't quite twigged from the underground layout where it was on the surface. So I've made this cave, and the connection's going to come out in here. But I was down here looking up at this, and I'm just really happy with how that looks looming over the base. And I think the approach from the towers is going to be good. I mean, this is now taller than the towers. It is as tall as anything in Minecraft can possibly be. Oh yeah. Let's see what it looks like from this island. I've got plans for this island too. I've got so many plans. Many half-formed. Oh, I'm so happy with this. So I think that's probably enough to be going on with. And I'll say goodbye until the next episode here on the Zedcraft Season 3 Survival server. My name has been Matthew. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.